Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second Out at Wash podcast of Miller. I'm here with some very nice guests, and my name is Drakoy, your host for tonight. I also play, of course, NC, and next to me is Honzikus.
Hello.
Yeah, feel free to introduce yourself a little bit.
Yeah, I'm one of the leaders in DIGT, and I'm PLing this outfit wars for DIGT.
And then we have Crayper from Rune.
Yeah, hello everyone. I'm a leader and the representative for Ruin this one. Been playing the game since 2020. Nice to meet you all.
Then we have Pordilos from KOTV.
Hello guys, I'm Pordilos, also known as Unhai. I'm one of the leaders of KOTV, and my origins start from NC with BHO, moved to TR a few, and now I'm KOTV VS. And I'm really proud of the Miller community and Planza community, but I play Miller mostly. But yeah, I want to say thank you for having me here. It's going to be interesting, in my opinion. And greetings to everyone out there.
For sure. And then we have Otto as well from C.
Hello, I'm Otto. Most know me probably from Cobalt as Otto von der Trinkhalle. And I'm most of the time squad lead in C now on Miller.
So starting off, I kind of want to start like a bit going off the games of last week, basically. So we're gonna take a little look at that. What is interesting, I would say, we're first gonna start with FRMD FSS. I would say, any thoughts on that game? I think it was a bit one-sided, I would say.
Has anyone watched it actually? I didn't watch it.
I didn't watch it personally, but I heard that the game was on their drunk day. I don't know if they played drunk or not, but they just tried to get as many points as possible against FFS. That's what I was told by one of their players.
Wait, you mean for me to play drunk?
Yeah, I don't know if they played drunk, but afterwards they had a drunk ops after the game.
They
So
should have told me. I would have been so down for that.
Yeah, because like FSS basically warp gated them, so I would say I think the match lasted only about 25 minutes ish. So it was a pretty quick game. Then the other game that was the next game basically that was a lot closer, I would say, was C against FU. I of course played myself in it, but maybe it's interesting to get a perspective view. I think one of you guys watched it, correct?
I did. I don't remember much of it because I watched it like right afterwards. But I will say it's going to be interesting seeing FU and Cobalts go again, see who the real winner is.
Yeah, it's basically come down to a best of 3 now. So we faced each other 2 times already. I think first match C1, second match FU. How was it for you to play, Otto?
For most of the part, it was okay. I didn't like my role during that game, but yeah, overall, pretty unlucky ending. Also, I fumbled the orbital at the end. It was also really unlucky. Fat fingered there a little bit. But yeah, it was a fun game. The first game was a little bit more fun because we won, obviously. And I'm looking forward to meet them another time, even though I wished we would play some other team because I came to Miller to play as many different teams as possible and not the same team 3 times in a row.
Well, if I may, as a viewer, I would say that the game was indeed interesting. Especially, I like the opener from FU with that Citadel shield being placed around the tech plant to support their air, which was pretty unusual to see. But then, as the game went, I think it was sort of similar to the first game, where FU and FU and C played against each other. So to be honest, I think for like 15 minutes before the end of the match, I sort of closed the Twitch stream. But I was really excited to find out that in the end, FU somehow managed to clutch it and 1-1 base in the end. So it was, I think, a well-deserved comeback.
Yeah, I think like for me as well, playing and being on that point, it was very close. I think it was 30 seconds left on the cap that we had to take, and there was like 1 minute left in the match. So I think until I think 2 minutes, even less than that, of match end, it was still like not decided who was going to win. So I think in that sort of way, it probably was one of the closest matches we had, at least on Miller, I would say. Let's go into the next game real quick. Then we have. I wonder. Wait, who did Chim play? Did Chim play?
They play Dig.
Oh yeah, that's why it didn't show up. So yeah, basically Chim got a free win then, against Dick, and then we also have Thingy that basically played.
OHB.
Yeah, OHB got a free win as well.
They didn't get full points though. They got like 350-ish.
Yeah, I
So
think
maybe
there's a few people that show up for the other one.
Yeah.
So
The thing is, if they got full points, it could have been again DIGT playing Ruin for in the 4th round actually, because they OHB could have gotten more points than us overall.
And then a game I kind of want to delve in a bit deeper is Rune versus DIGT. Maybe we start from the DIGT perspective. Like, how did the opener go for you guys?
Opener didn't go as planned. We didn't manage to get logistics on the first base. We had troubles getting in the base as well. Second base was very lucky from our point of view, but we had luckily air dominance, which helped us to get more people on the points at the end. And we didn't manage to get anyone to the tech plant because we were too busy on the other lanes.
Yeah, I think the tech plant was a bit of a ghost cap. Crayper, you can maybe confirm on this?
Yeah, well, to say the truth, initially we weren't planning to cap the tech plant in the opener as well. It turns out to be just the initiative for one or two guys that decided that they want to cap the tech plant to go for that pre-capped on the enemy nexus substation, if I recall it correctly. So to speak, for our opener, as you might have guessed from the Honzikus speech, we had a lot of armor prepared for the middle base, so we had it like fully under control and placed our Sandys. But the other end of this was that we didn't really commit to the air, which resulted in us having, I think, like more than around 2 squads in the air plus 2 burster maxes, if I recall it correctly. I think there was a Prowler as well on the hill. I got to admit, though, the DIGT Gals ramming their maxes, burster maxes, that's not what I would expect from them on the opener. So that was really well played from the DIGT pilots. Besides that, and infantry speaking, the cap for the middle base was pretty much as we expected, although once DIGT managed to set up spawn, I think around B point, because previous to that, our tanks managed to die to enemy air, which was a little unfortunate for our cause, obviously. And for the Bitter Gorge, I think we were trying to cap it like with the last minute drop, and it turns out that our Gal pilot didn't exactly follow the plan and dropped us in the middle base. So it basically didn't save us that much time, and we had to drop in like last 30 seconds, I think. But then DIGT managed to overcome our infantry by their air, and the opener was lost for that base. But still, it was 2-1, and I think it was sort of a victory for Ruin, speaking for the opener wise.
Yeah, I think opener wise, I would say it was pretty even, but it looked like Rune was possibly actually getting away with 3 bases there. I think he played like a bit of a Hail Mary at the last, But in general, it was I would say one of the most interesting comebacks. I think was it your air control that you think made that happen?
Our air control was very important for the match, and also our squads being able to win the duels against the enemy squads. Even though it was very even, I would say, but they still managed to win those. And when we stabilized the map by getting like I would say like 6 bases, then we could just easily push into the next two with with the insane like air dominance helping us there and finishing the game 8-1 at the end.
Yeah, because I think maybe like you guys of course played really well, but the 80% win is maybe a bit of a, let's say, kill wise and stuff. The difference wasn't that big, you know. DIGT was a bit in front, I think with like 100 or 200 kills roughly. But other than that, like I think it was decently close, but I think the air gave you a lot of leeway basically to move around. Do you think anything you can change, Ruin, or what? Like that you think from we're maybe gonna do this different or something?
Well, obviously, I think the main lesson for the match that we can learn is that we need to commit more in the air, but in the same time try to sort of combine it with plain armor to have it under control for the middle base. I think on this regard we have the same issues as many team face, as we are sort of limited in our pilots.
Mm-hmm.
So to say, we have to in the same time combine some Russian-speaking and English-speaking pilots, which from time to time could be a real mess to like communicate. But I think as the current matches goes and overall the idea of the tournament and philosophy that the air needs to be won or at least contested for you to win the game, because I think comparing our match to one of the closest matches on Emerald for this week as well that I watched, it was GOPS versus Recursion. The matches were sort of like the same in this regard that just like us, GOPS sort of lost the air, and despite the fact that they won the opener, in the end Recursion prevailed with having their infantry dropped by the Gals and complete air control.
Yeah, 100% agree with that. Actually, I wonder how does communication work in Rune? Like, do you guys talk mainly English or mainly Russian, or how does it work?
Well, most of the people from Ruin, as you might have guessed, are Russian-speaking people. So the main communication goes for Russian, but for those our players from English-speaking division, we try to have at least one or two squad leaders to communicate with each other. Of course, it can be a mess from time to time when two people like when one person has to communicate in like two languages with one or another. Well, sometimes it works, sometimes it's not, but I guess this is what we have now, and it's not like we can change it for this ongoing season. Yet, personally, from my experience, I would say it's pretty interesting to combine the like two languages communication. But efficiency-wise, I wouldn't say that you should go for it. But in our case, I think that's the only thing we can do.
Okay, and then we're gonna go to our last game, I think, of last week. It was KOTV against LPS.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, pretty much we didn't get the full platoon. Everyone, most of the people had tired business to do, holidays and stuff, and people couldn't make it. So we ended up joining with see, have the video here because I recorded basically 31 people. FPS had full platoon, and we tried our best to delay as much as we could. So we know we would lose. It's 31 versus 48 plus the skill gap with PS. We're trying to improve. We're definitely doing better than last year, in my opinion, because I did participate last year too. I've definitely seen improvement, especially with the Formido game. Like the Formido max from last year and this year was night and day, in my opinion. And we still lost, but we did better. And now we're doing the best for this one. We'll do our best to win.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm just gonna interrupt you real quick. I'm not
no
sure
problem.
if you can fix it, but it's very hard to understand you. I think you have a slight connection issue. Maybe you can check that out. But yeah, you sound a bit like a robot right now for us. But if I can repeat it well, you were a bit less people than
yeah, 31.
yeah, 31. So yeah, that's a huge difference. So I hope are you guys gonna be able to bring the numbers this weekend?
We're trying to. We don't know officially because like people might still. Is it lagging again?
This
Is it
Yeah.
now?
yeah, it's still lagging.
Oh, then. Anyways, I'll just speak quickly. Pretty much, we're doing our best. We have the signups. We'll see how it goes. And it's best to see later. I don't know the numbers exactly now, and check the announcements too.
Yeah. Basically, I want to.
It's how many? When is it? Saturday. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe not full platoon
Yeah.
at the moment.
A question for the other teams here as well. So I can say for C, I think we will get there probably with 48. It is rough. We're scraping the barrel as we would say it. But how's it looking for DIGT and Rune? Do you guys have issues for this weekend matches?
Last time I checked, we had enough, and I don't think Heregas went on pinging people as well, so we could have gotten more signups, but we should be still fine.
Mm-hmm.
Well, on Ruin's side, I would say that just a few of our guys have to celebrate Christmas this week. So I think we should be getting the full platoon with our usual players and numbers. So shouldn't be that much of a deal in our case.
Oh yeah, because if I'm correct, is it not that Russian Christmas is on a different date?
Yeah, we have it on the 7th of January, but the main day is the first day of January when the New Year comes.
Oh, okay.
So we have some slightly different dates for celebrations.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be for every team. Not everyone is gonna have their A team because people have families, you know. People have things to do, celebrate. It makes sense. I think it was a mistake to not pause. Maybe like pause it for like 2 weeks or something at least. The outfit wash, so people could mid-January. But that's also really weird. I think the timing of the event is just a bit awful in general. I'm not sure. What do you guys think about? Do you think there will be any updates these outfit wars? That PSB
not.
or like that? Because right now there is a PTS update active, I think, but I don't
But
think.
it addresses mostly like the capture the flag, nothing else, I think. Like no new tank guns this time.
That is a shame.
And turn some TTF bases into normal ones. Like I think the traverse is back to normal now.
As a miracle, will be finally playable again.
I
At least from
think
some more kids.
from what I've read, they won't change it back completely to normal. They will make it still capture the flag, but I think if you capture one flag, the point will transition to a normal point, and you can fasten it up basically the cap timer if you capture more flags. That's what I read at least. Maybe they changed it again. I don't know.
From what I read, like half of the bases are being reverted to normal capture points, and half of them will be updated to the new capture the flag system.
Okay, makes sense. Capture the flag is a nightmare. I was just happy that we didn't see it now in Outfit Wars. I feared that Rel might in his I don't know in his fabulous ideas might come up with capture the flag in Outfit Wars. Because he is announced like last year, I think, that he would make some changes to the map.
Yeah, I think in general we have seen no changes to the map.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I think
Because they thought, or they said also that they will add more cover and stuff, but they didn't really add anything.
Yeah, I think we can all agree like Outfit Wars was a bit of a last minute decision, then delayed a few times. I would say like still a big issue is people disconnecting. I don't think did it happen for any of you guys games in DIGT and Rune and KOTV?
I think in the last round, both us and Ruin had one or two disconnect from what I saw in terms of like the activity.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it can be unlucky if like it's very important person, like maybe PL. Luckily that didn't happen to us. But I've seen on like another server that happened.
Well, jokes aside, I almost got disconnected before the beginning of the match versus DIGT. So it was close. I think it was like 2 or 3 minutes before the beginning. But
Yeah,
luckily,
hey-
I had it reconnected back and managed to play the game after all.
Yeah, Habel's internet literally crashed 3 minutes prior to the match, and he managed to reconnect luckily while changing to
Yeah,
different internet connection.
I think they should allow reconnections though. I think once you're in a match, they should allow you to
Actually,
go ahead.
wait. I think we did have disconnections, actually, now that I remember.
Oh.
I think it was Logan. He even came back from so I don't know how.
You can
He
come
did
back
go-
during the preparation, but I don't think you can come back during the match.
Yeah, because on
Oh, yeah, it was in prep.
on Emerald there was a PL. I'm not sure of which team anymore that basically disconnected during the match, and then the squad lead basically had to take over PLing. So I think people need to be ready to lose their PL, if that makes sense. Because you're never certain. Anyone could disconnect. So I think it's important for at least squads and to have secondary leads set up for everyone. Is it something you guys do in at all or no?
We don't have anything, but I think we can come up with a solution on Discord by just streaming the POVs to the PL, and he can like tell. But it's still gonna be like not the PL can't look on the map instantly. That's the only issue.
Would you still keep the same PL even though if you disconnect?
Depends if there are people to take over. Like usually, I would say Habel can take over, but he's not there this week. But I would trust other squad leaders as well. But I don't know how much of an initiative they have in terms of that. But we would have to talk about it.
Yeah, I think it's worth having a chat over because you never actually know when something happens. I think in general, what are you guys' thoughts on the meta being to just? I think the most important bases right now are still Bitter Gorge and Granite Hat, of course. Do you guys agree on that, or do you think people should pay more attention to the SATCOM as well?
I mean, if we're
Actually,
speaking,
Wait, sorry.
I
I think it
guess
was a general for everyone.
I guess I'll continue then. Well, speaking from the link wise, obviously the middle base gives you 3 links: one to your home, one to your substation, and the second to the what's it called, Granite Hat, and the third one to the enemy Nexus substation.
Mm-hmm.
So it's basically the MVP base of all. And for the Granite Hat, it has the same 3 links. Though speaking from Ruin experience, I would say that those matches that we played against the LPS and the fact that back in that match we managed to cap only one base, it was the tech plant. We still managed to have some sort of like connection to the enemy nexus and had some sort of pressure to put on the enemy. So if I would say that for teams that couldn't really like contest middle base for several reasons, tech plant is like still a way to go. So at least cap some base, have some points, and try to make some strats and strategies for the at least going for one more base instead of just letting yourself down on those 2 home bases and in the end fall into Nexus.
Yeah, because I think it is possible to fast cap the tech plant, but then you still need some presence at least at Bitter Gorge or something. So you cannot but if you send a squad there's a good chance you cap it. So it's not always a bad idea to go to there. For sure, if you're playing, I think if it's an even team you're playing against, it's not that important because the tech plant then mainly gets. I think it's a bit later in the caps most of the time. But the other times, if you know you're gonna lose, you want to take points, At least in the meta we are right now, because points are still gonna be somewhat important maybe if it's like an even point game. Like you have basically each 2 wins and 2 losses, then it's gonna depend on points who's basically gonna go out in the next rounds.
Points are even more important because of the no-shows, I guess. Because if you get a no-show, you get maximum points almost, and the teams that don't have a no-show matchup need every point they get to make it, I guess.
Yeah, I agree with that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll say my opinion. I think northwest side is safer. One moment.
What's that?
I think the north side is safer because there are no cutoffs outside of billboards. So the thing is, like, if you go from the north, you only get cut off at Peter Gorge. If you go for the tech plant, you have the Nexus and the tech plant for the cutoff. So I think if you want to play safe, you have to go for the north one, but the mid base in mind.
Yeah, I guess I agree with taking Bittergorge, puts your own base secure, and with the mid base, you always have a chance that the enemy goes to the tech plant and then can attack your home base like that. So that I would say is very correct. Like, Bittergorge is maybe even more important in a way than the middle base. Because you still have a connection to his side base, and your own home base is secure. So you basically you have one defensive lane then, or like you basically have two lanes you can attack from, and your own base is secure.
Yeah, saves points too. I think tech plant is best for the steal. Like I tried, like I got some socket cloakers with LPS. It failed. It's my fault. I'm really sorry. It was my fault. But yeah, we did the best.
Yeah, I think stealing it is possible, but the problem is the points are so far apart that it is not always that easy, because on the middle base, stealing it, A is pretty far, but the other 2 points are very close together. On the tech plant, you can easily get the roof point, but between the roof and the other 2 points, there is a lot of distance, I would say. So it's not that easy to go to, but you need to send enough people, basically, if you want to steal the tech plant. You cannot do it with 2 people.
Well, if I may add to that, still not speaking, I think in our game against FU, if you did steal the tech plant from Ruin in the opener, it was pretty unexpected for the squad that was holding the tech plant, because they came in with like a full air force and basically committed for the last, like, if I recall it correctly, it was 20 or 25 seconds on the timer. They started with the point on the top of the tech plant, and after that they basically went in via beacon from the dubs on the back door where the usual big gun is.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how they surprised us. But because my guys tried to recap the point on the top, FU already was in and managed to flip all 3 points for last 5 or 7 seconds or so and got the cap. So I think it could be a viable strategy for some games.
Yeah, I guess it depends, because if the middle is being fought over and it's just an empty cap, you're losing your foothold in the middle as well, though. I think that's the dangerous part, because if you both the middle bases are such fast caps that if you dare to lose them, basically, or go away, the points could be capped because a 7-minute cap can turn into a 2-minute cap like really quickly if they have all 3 points. Do you think the timers should be changed, or do you like them how they are now?
I think they're fine,
Yeah,
in
same.
my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree with
Because
this, guys.
the first capture is not whoever controls most of the time, whoever gets the base first. It doesn't matter if you stay for 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute. It's about who gets the base first, and then follows as it is with that wars, and the flow continues.
Maybe your thoughts, Otto?
I actually don't even know the timers, to be honest. I leave that to the platoon leads, and he tells me where to go.
Yeah, but like, for example, a middle base you can cap in 2 minutes if you have all 3 points. If you have 2 points, 7 minutes, and the other bases are like 4 and then 7. I think the home base is a good timer, though.
All 3 middle bases are the same timer, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think so. I think, yeah.
220.
But I don't think
Yeah, overall, I think they are fine all-timers.
it gives that the game can switch very quickly because one team can be winning, but like basically having close to 6 bases. But if the other team comes back and basically switch the middle bases in like less than 5 minutes, 2 bases could be flipped around, and you could be on the losing side. I think that makes it also more interesting to play and watch because you can never be, unless you're at their home base, you're never really secure. Or you need to have kept their side bases, But if they still have their side bases and they have some foothold in the middle, they're always can come back, I would say.
Yeah, that could work for sure. For instance, I just remember that last year, for instance, Ruin had tactics of capping the middle base via drops in like last seconds. I think we managed to succeed in that against DIGT and against the 1RPC back in the day. We were like stealing the enemy middle bases on like 1 or 2 seconds. On one occasion, it was just one guy winning a duel on the A point that is like under the ground on the granite head. But on the others, it was just perfectly timed drops for the 2 points. So I would say that generally the timer game is right on point in this current circumstances.
Yeah, I understand. I think timing wise, otherwise we're doing good. I'm actually interested that we don't see that many shotguns being used this season. I feel last year there were a lot more people using shotguns, and now it seems like more spread out, more people using a bit more Punisher use, but in general, just normal heavy weapons being used.
Wait, did you miss out on the match during or against LPS?
Yeah, against LPS, yes, I was there, but then were more.
LPS used so many shotguns. That was not fun to play against.
But I mean, for example, when we played FU, I don't think there were that many used in general.
They used a lot of the chain gun actually, which is kind of broken if you use it correctly.
Do you guys force your people on certain loadouts, or do you just say to your people, basically run with your wand, Honzikus?
We give roughly the idea what should be used, what certain classes should be running, but we give some freedom, like weapon choices. Usually, it depends what the role is. Like some of them have more strict, some of them are more lenient, but it depends.
Mm-hmm. And how is the freedom of the squad leads? Can squad leads decide their own thing, or do platoon lead kind of decides everything?
Squad leaders sometimes have the initiative. When they do, I'll let them. If they don't have instant initiative, I'll direct them obviously
Mm-hmm.
what they should be doing. If there is anything happening and they spot something that I don't, I'll obviously consider that and decide what I feel is the best. But they have their freedom, as long as they want it and have enough initiative basically.
Guess you are also somewhat limited with your VS arsenal, right? Because there are not so many meta weapons than like on NC and TR. I mean, with LMGs, Beetle mainly. Otherwise, what else?
Yeah, it's just Beetle and what else is there? Orion. It's just Beetle is just better Orion overall. More
for
is
some
also
people.
usable. Yeah, we have some funny weapons on Vanu, but I wouldn't say much meta.
Yeah.
But
also, the Lasher is kind of useless, sadly. in Outfit Wars at least.
I remember in the last match of last season, or no, the second last in the semifinals, one guy from the current FFS team complained about it.
Really?
But, yeah.
Okay. I think it's more for me, but okay.
Yeah. Well, it stopped their max stress. Let's say that way.
But the cool thing is, the cool thing with the Beetle is that you don't have to run Scavenger and can run, I don't know, a simulator or something. But if you get heated up and you die, then it's like pain.
Yeah, I guess that's one of the pro things about VS. But what I already saw, like some teams do, is like putting their mech riders like up in the mountains like crazy. They had some, I think when DIGT played Rune in the opener, they had like some mech rider onto the side cliff and shooting down into the DIGT prowlers, and they were so confused where they were getting hit from basically. Do you anvil those up top?
No tanks except of Skyguards are being anviled. Or if there is a Chimera. I don't remember how that one works. I'm not like tank specialist. I let our tankers do what they think is the best, and they usually do very good job in basically all the matches we played so far.
And maybe a question for Rune: do you use prowlers at all? Do you snipe ESFs in the top or not really?
Well, some of our players do like to snipe enemy SFs with prowlers, especially for the opener. But I think our matches against LPS and DIGT show that the strategy that was pretty dominant last year, speaking for the TR teams, with several prowlers on the hill that were shooting down enemy sites and rivers, doesn't really work this year because people have already upgraded their strategies, and pilots know basically how to take their distance and like combine fire and disregard. So I wouldn't say that they are that much efficient in this season, but I think occasionally we still use them, and I think some other teams do as well. So it's still an option for platoon leaders to consider.
Isn't Chinchilla playing for you at Ruin?
Yeah, I think he does.
Yeah, he is like an insane ESF sniper with the Brawler. I remember last year he was on my team and he sniped like in one game over 20 ESFs. That was pretty cost efficient.
Yeah, for a guy like him, that's obviously a good idea to put him there. But of course, still, if the enemy pilots like know how to react on this and they aren't surprised with the Prowler on the hill, that's still quite hard to counter it for the Prowler wise.
That's true.
I think people learned as well. You know, first season, you saw it a lot, but then people adapted and basically started to play different because I think galaxies as well were pretty vulnerable to the prowlers because the prowlers did so much damage, and they would basically destroy galaxies or like force them back. Because I think we're still seeing a lot of replicals used though. I think everyone still uses at least two, I would say. Some more that also drop their infantry. Do you think we're gonna see more gals in the future or less?
I would say it depends on the strategy. If it's just for the fighting over middle, 2 gals are usually fine enough in terms of like repair gals.
Yeah, I would say it also depends on the team. For instance, for the match that I already gave as an example, Gobs versus Recursion, they had like 3 gals for Recursion team to support their squads all the way. They basically used it as a mobile spawn option. But speaking for Miller, I think, if I recall it correctly, LPS also has like more than 2 gals in their usual air composition. That means they have those like pilots to properly play them. And as of utilization, well, I guess we'll wait and see how it turns up in the end.
Yeah, I think you have to be dominant in the air though. If you use your galaxies as spawn points, what is a very valuable strat, then you need to have air control. Otherwise, I think you're just losing too many people in galaxies.
And
Yeah,
my
if you
match.
don't, yeah, if you don't have the air control, the galaxy will just die anytime it's gonna transport infantry. It's just one-way trip.
Yeah, but like I'm not a pilot myself, but still, I heard that some like pilots, when they are out of resources, they prefer to like use their galaxies at least for a secondary weapon option, so they have at least some sort of thing to shoot from if they're out of resources to support their guys in the air. But that's of course if those galaxies are playing with the air squad, which is not optimal for each team.
I think we have seen on Emerald some interesting tactics without rep girls where I hear that teams don't run rep girls and play like what is it called? The self repairing thing?
The
Night
night
auto
repair?
repair? Yeah, the ESFs run nanite auto repair basically. Not sure how effective that is, but some teams made good use of it, I guess. We saw it in like Usho versus Awa, one of the better matches there, I guess, where teams were supposed to be relatively even, but the Usho guys won really hard without rep guards.
Yeah, I guess it forced because everyone kind of gets spotted. So I'm not sure. Like I think most ESF players run stealth in general, but I don't know how optimal that always is for Outward Wars. Because some people using stealth probably makes sense, but I don't think a whole like having your full air squad on stealth is always the best thing. Because people are spotting out everything anyway. I would say on Outward Wars.
It depends also on the skill of the pilot, I guess. Some pilots are really skilled in flying low and ganking, and they should run probably vehicle stealth. But with like you have some less experienced pilots, or they can maybe run something like composite armor with combination of rep guards.
Yeah, I think Rune has a pretty heavy armor opener in general. Do you try to keep those like tanks up as well in your second pulls, or do you say like it's just for the opener and then we basically drop them?
Well, usually just for the opener, because not sure how about like for the other teams, but in Ruin we don't have that many tankers and overall people that have the competitive experience for like several reasons. And for me personally, it's sometimes quite hard to get people play vehicles, so sometimes you basically have to start with it so it's all under your control, because once it's over, it's still kind of hard to get people back in the vehicles unless they're like super experienced and know what to do. So for the opener, it's just like the overall strats, but then we usually do not repull. Not sure if it goes or stays the same for the next matches. Guess we'll have to see, depending on the enemy.
Yeah,
How is it with KOTV? Are you guys playing rep guards? I've seen only your first game against Formido where you didn't really contest air at all.
At least not that I know of. I haven't seen any because, to be honest, some of the Lataso guy like, use impulse grenades and stuff, back up
Okay.
as much as I can. I mean, yeah, last game I couldn't do much with Thunderpop, but honestly, going Stalker Clock was better. But yeah, for repair girls, I will say this though: in Outfit Wars 3, when I was in HRGC, we kept winning until the last month, and like on we always used Clerics Galaxies. And the one time, the last month that we didn't bring it, we lost. So I think it's a really big force multiplier as long as you have the air to defend at least. That was in Desolation. So I don't know for Nexus.
yeah, I think
But yeah, we don't have much air. We tried going there, but we had nanite issues because I think it was with Formido game because we did try to go with air, but we died. We lost fights, and then we noticed that we were running out of nanites very quickly, and we like the Delta squad switched strategy, going more like supportive, like doing
Okay.
some backups, like backups and assist the platoon later.
Yeah, same for us basically against FU last game. Our pilots also ran out of nanites in the long term. That's what maybe costed us the win at the end because we had no air at all anymore basically.
yeah,
It hurts not having ASP, I guess.
I think in the start having ASP doesn't really matter, but as longer the game goes on, and for sure if it's a close game, because we all basically moved over from Cobalt, you know, like I think having ASP is a huge difference. Like it can give you that one or two more ESFs for your whole squad. That is basically what is it like 12 ESFs or something if you have 6 pilots up. If you have 8, 16, that's a huge difference, you know.
Mhm.
But I guess you guys don't really face that issue like in DIGT. Do you have mainly of your people ASPs?
Yeah, I would say majority of our players are ASP. Not some infantry, but pilots, I think vast majority, maybe like 1 or 2 don't have it, but everyone else does.
Yeah, I kind of want to let's go and predict maybe the games of next week. So right now I brought them up to screen. You can also open them in the chat. We're gonna basically start from top to bottom. And so for Mido against FSS, what do you guys think? What will happen there?
FFS plays LPS.
Yeah, Drakoy, I think you're on the
Oh,
wrong
whoa,
list.
whoa, whoa!
Yeah,
I'm
I
one
wanted to
second.
say.
Oopsie, mistake.
No worries.
Just a screenshot, Android.
Yeah, 1 second. I am fixing it. Oh yeah, they play LPS. Sorry, I think it should be fixed. Yeah, FSS plays LPS. I'm sorry. I think
Yeah. Should I
LPS.
start?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go start, Otto.
Yeah, for me, LPS is the favorite because they have a lot of ringers, but I think FFS can give them a good fight. And they are last year, or like one RPC is last year's winner, and they play with FFS. And they have really good air from what I've seen on live. So I'm really looking forward to see that match, and think I give the slight edge to LPS, but FFS can definitely beat them.
Yeah, it's basically FFS and 1RPC. It's almost the same roster. I think they have few different people, like in one squad or one in the air. But yeah, they have by far the strongest air in, I would say, all outfits. At least on Miller, I think they are still probably the strongest, even on any server. But yeah, LPS I would say has better infantry than FFS, but I would say the game can go both ways depending on the opener. I would say opener probably will decide, and then yeah, we'll see.
Well, if I may add to that, on the one hand, in terms of FFS, we have like an extremely skilled and team play team, basically a team from Lane Smash, which has stack there as well. And on the other hand, we have LPS with as well like extremely skilled infantry guys and some stack there. Well, personally, I would say that for this exact matchup, it would be for LPS, but I don't think it will be like the deciding game for the whole tournament. Maybe they'll have to face each other once again to see who will be prevailing in the end. But once again, just for this week, I would say LPS.
Yeah, because right now the importance is just getting in the top 8 basically, and going through. So then we have like basically FFS and LPS are both safe and will get the top 8, like no matter what. For Mido and DIGT, maybe you want to start in that, Honzi?
Well, we are the favorites to win the game. We'll try to like make sure our opener works this time, and then just keep going from there. And I think FRMD will just try to get as many points to make sure they are through, because I would say there are 9 teams that will be fighting for the 8 spots, and the X-Blood will have a lot of points. They'll probably have like, from my calculation, what I did, it would be around 1050.
Yeah.
So yeah,
The
that's what will be needed to beat
the thing I heard
for
though.
the other teams, if they want to get like all the other teams that are actively playing.
Yeah, I think there is a possibility that Dick will open up the outfit though, for people to actually join outfit towards this Saturday. What I heard from Dick leadership. So basically, what they would do is let people join that want to join. So ideally, we don't have 2 no-shows in the top 8. Well, I think is a nice move of Dick leadership. Sorry, but I think that's an important note.
Any other opinions on Formido versus DIGT? Yeah, I personally think also DIGT is the clear favorite.
I think it's gonna be nice. Like I can't really say who's gonna win, but it's going to be very close.
Well, I would say it would be obviously DIGT, but I think FRMD will have a good time to practice and sort of their improved strategies from their previous match from the FFS, because they definitely had a lot of things to think about and fix. So I just hope for a good match and maybe a good opener for FRMD.
Yeah, I think then we have next game Rune against, like, basically these games everyone is kind of safe, I would say, because if Dick actually shows up, it shouldn't be an issue. So if you win, you're through. If these games we're talking about now, but it's basically BHO or however you want to call them against Rune. Rune has to win though. Crayper.
Yeah, of course, if we want to make it to the top 8, we have to win to secure our spot. As for the prediction for the upcoming match, obviously I'm gonna put all of my chips on my team.
Mm-hmm.
Still, I hope the OHB or BHO, whatever they call themselves this year, will put up a good fight, because guys obviously will have some troubles with filling up the platoon. But still, I hope they do, so we have a good match for you to see and for us to practice as well.
Are you also in DIGT looking at this game basically, like maybe seeing what other teams do?
We will be looking like who will be getting in the semifinals, but we think we can end up like we probably will end up third, I assume, after the plane rounds, and then we will see who will end up sixth. That's what I believe will happen.
Yeah, because I think it can be very close, because the points in general are not that far apart from basically, if we look from team 10 until team 6, it's all within 100 points. So there is, between place 6 and team 8, there is still a lot possible in terms of where people will be at. Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
I do think Rune will end up fourth overall after the 4 matches. And then who knows what will end up afterwards, like which team will be what in place.
Yeah, I think it will be
the same.
What, sorry?
I will the same thing. Like I think it's going to be at least fourth.
Yeah, because Rune, I think, has the most confident matchup. Like all other, yeah, I think Rune has for sure. DIGT has should win pretty certain as well. But like, I think Rune has the most comfortable matchup. I think. Did you face them already, Crayper?
No, we didn't. And from what I know about the OHB, they only like played against in like from what I could see against FFS and the first match against Chimp. So from what I saw, they were like trying to play the usual stuff, as they have some BRTD members who basically have at least some experience from the last year. So they basically are aware of what's going on. But still, I guess we'll have to wait and see how they're going to perform against us, and whether they're like going to try to surprise us with like full air, maybe full tanks, or maybe they'll just try to open up with something like combined. Well, for us, I would say that we'll try to like prepare for each and every option, but basically we'll be playing more in the air for the upcoming match.
Yeah, and then we have Chimp against KOTV, kind of as well elimination game in a way.
Yeah, I think it's going to depend on numbers because we're not full yet. So, like, supposing we have equal teams, I think it's going to be very hard to see who wins. I will not say it's going to be a win, but it's not it's a lost hope. You can pull it through. We do have a tactic plant and test it out, see how it works. So we will do our best. It won't be boring.
Okay, that's always nice to hear.
Considering there's no other pop, it won't be boring.
Yeah, maybe Otto, you have some thoughts on this match?
I haven't seen too much from Jimp, so hard to tell. I've only seen the first game from KOTV against Formido where I casted. So if both teams can bring 48 people, then I think it's a pretty close match. But I can't tell who's gonna win.
Yeah, and then I think one of the last one of both teams that can still be in, but both teams are on the brink of being out as well, is C against FU. I think both of us have to win basically, or we're out. So it's I think, and it's a best of three as well, of course. So I think it's gonna be there's a lot on the line basically for the match.
Yeah, they will be a tough match. Let's see who wins. I guess Freelancers Union, I hear they have some problems with getting 48 people. And I've seen some recursion ringers from Emerald or Connery. I'm looking forward to see how strong they will be. Also, it will be a question, how well will they get their characters sorted, I guess, before the match. Because if you don't have your medic or heavy fully sorted, then that can give you a disadvantage, obviously. And if you don't have your ESFs at least somewhat sorted.
Yeah, I think an ESF is pretty quickly to start for sure. It's double XP this weekend, what should help a lot for people for certs. So I don't think certs, you should be able to get like, for sure, if you're willing to do the Quartium farm, you can easily get like 1000 certs in like 45 minutes.
Yeah. But yeah, overall, it will be a really close and tough match. I hope it will be fun to play.
Yeah, I'm of course going with that we're going to win, but I think it will be a close one.
Yeah, and then I guess the last game, or are there any other opinions? Honzi or Crayper, did you watch the game so far from us? Or FU?
I watched partially the last game when I saw the comeback from FU. They basically kind of reversed the thing, and we'll see how the next game will go. From what I heard, they changed platoon leaders between the first and the second game between you. So we'll see how it will go.
Well, I also watched the games, like I said before, and for me, I think it's gonna be this second match rating of importance after the FFS LPS game.
Mm-hmm.
I also can like say for sure who's gonna win in this match. Still, I think if you're gonna definitely try to properly commit for the opener to win it after like all those games that they had like only one setcom taken in the opener, but in the same time, I think the air will play a huge role as well. And if they manage to like overcome their resources and do the same magic like they did last time with the last minute caps, oh boy, this could be like for either for C or FU. Actually, I think it's gonna be quite sad to see either of the team like leaving the tournament because, well, it's just how the placement went for this year. By the way, if I'm correct, Red Mist in the last year also had like same issue with the Cobalt matches, right?
Yeah.
So it's basically some sort of curse that is following you from Cobalt to Miller.
Like last year we phrased H 3 times, and now we said like we're not staying on Cobalt again because we don't want the same to happen. So we go to Miller, and now we have the same. We face the same team 3 times. And then what is gonna be maybe an interesting game as well is XPLA against Dig. You know, we heard that Dig is possibly showing up, that they will open up the outfit. XPLA tends to have some randoms joining it. So
yeah, as far as I know, XPLI is auto join, and when you join, you have the role, but that you can play. That's as far as I know. So it's just that's how some people they have.
I think Dig is going to take this because like the plan is to make sure XPLA doesn't win.
Yeah, actually,
It's
I'm
it's
rooting
only
for Dick,
reasonable,
you know,
kind of thing.
because if XPLA wins, it could be. I think it would be really bad for the competition in general because then you have a no-show team in, and I think it's already see that, for example, CNFU need to face 3 times because I think it would be a lot more interesting if they could face the other teams as well. Because yeah, I would love to fight a KOTV or a Chimp or like any other team, like even Rune and stuff. But I guess it is what it is.
Yeah, the dignity award is keeping the dignity within the outfits.
Of course, of course. I'm basically gonna round it up here. I want to all thank you very much for attending this podcast. Any last words from you, Honzikus?
Yeah, thank you for inviting us and making this podcast happen.
Crayper?
Yeah, the same. Thanks for hosting the podcast. It was pretty enjoyable. Thank you.
And Pordilos?
I will say thank you. I will apologize for my connection. I don't know. Like whenever I didn't talk, it was fine, but right now it's bad. I don't know. I am so unlucky.
You're
I
getting
had a
DDoS.
moment. I had a moment with connection as well, but I had perfect connection to literally everywhere except of this call for like a minute when I was supposed to talk about the match between DIGT and FRMD.
Interesting. And of course, Otto.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was a pleasure.
Okay, thank you guys very much for attending, and see you guys next time.
Bye bye.